All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good news stuff for you today. And the Satoshi Nakamoto drama continues. But you know what I'm going to say? I'm Satoshi Nakamoto. That's it, guys. It's over. The hunt is over. I got it on my I got all my private keys on my USB drive that should be in my hand, but isn't at the moment. And I can prove it to you, but I don't really wanna. So, Bitcoin Cash developer renews his claim of being Satoshi Nakamoto. So, Amaury Sachet, I got nothing, reiterated his claim of being Satoshi Nakamoto in a tweet posted earlier on Monday. The lead developer of Bitcoin ABC, the central development team for Bitcoin Cash, has promised undisputable evidence, but is yet to deliver it. So, like I said, this guy isn't Satoshi Nakamoto. I am, and I could prove it, but I don't know. Today's just not a good day, guys. I don't know. I'm just like, I got a lot to do. It's just one of those days. So it's kind of weird that it's always like Bitcoin Cash proponents that are claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto for some weird reason. So it says some people still doubt it. They are wrong. They will learn. For I am not Dario Nakamoto. Okay, that was said a long time ago, so I don't know why this is valid, but let's humor it. The claim immediately drew a reaction from Craig Wright, who also alleges to be the creator of Bitcoin. So far, neither has presented irrefutable evidence, which would be a movement of coins from wallets where Satoshi Nakamoto's early rewards remain unspent, which I believe because those private keys are in the hands of somebody else or essentially lost. And I'll get into that in a second. Earlier, he claimed that he had a message signed in a way that could only belong to the mysterious Bitcoin creator. And there it is. I am Satoshi Nakamoto. There I said it, and I can prove it. And yeah, great. So on Twitter, Dead Alnex, whatever, revealed an encrypted message, but without the actual text and hash used to encrypt it. All right. It is impossible to say whether he actually owns any of the Satoshi Nakamoto cryptographic credentials. Additionally, Sachet used Pastebin to demonstrate the usage of the public key of the Genesis block to sign a message. However, skeptics say this technique is insufficient, potentially creating bogus messages that cannot prove ownership of the Bitcoin private keys. A Stack Exchange post explains how a signing can be faked, and skeptics also posted a tool that will allow anyone to build fake elliptic curve digital signatures. And for the reasons listed above, his claims are not yet taken seriously, nor Wright's previous assertions of his having used a signature belonging to Satoshi Nakamoto. Let me get a little bit more comfortable here because we got a lot to go over today. There's all kinds of stuff. Staking a claim on Satoshi Nakamoto's identity has been used to legitimize ideas on how the Bitcoin network should develop. And of course, Bitcoin Cash would do that because it's the real Bitcoin, right? And so is Bitcoin SV. It's the real Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's not the real Bitcoin, but SV and Bitcoin Cash are the real Bitcoin. For sure. So, the next article says, Dr. Craig Wright says, I was Satoshi. It says, Google the name Craig Wright, and among the top results would be the question, is Craig Wright creator Satoshi Nakamoto? Wright, an Australian computer scientist and businessman, has already confirmed his part in creating Bitcoin and identified himself as Satoshi Nakamoto, the pseudo-anonymous creator of Bitcoin and its underlying blockchain technology. Yet, Wright's statement has been widely regarded with skepticism, with doubters immediately finding fault with his claims. It's interesting to note that despite his credentials always being questioned, Wright has been questioned by the brother of deceased Bitcoin pioneer Dave Kleiman. The complaint claimed Wright amassed a stash of 1.1 million Bitcoins, but didn't dispute the Australian computer scientist's place as a key figure of the development of cryptocurrency, and now he's coming clean. So again, we have a few people that are suspected, and one of them is Dave Kleiman, and if you guys haven't read about Dave Kleiman, you probably should. Then there's Hal Finney, and Craig Wright. There's a few others that, were potential, like Nick Szabo and Wei Dai and stuff like that had created other concepts, but there is a dispute going on between Dave Kleiman, the estate of Dave Kleiman, who is deceased, and Craig Wright, coincidentally, for 1.1 million Bitcoin, which is the Bitcoin supposedly in the Satoshi wallets, which is very interesting. And there's actually a real court debate going on in Florida, and it's scheduled to continue on June 10th, I believe, something like that. So he says, I was Satoshi in a Medium post titled Careful What You Wish For. Wright wrote how Bitcoin got its start as well as challenges it weathered, explaining along the way why he left and why he's returned. He said, I had a lot of help going along the way. Without Hal Finney, the code would have crashed time after time. I am not going to list the people who helped me, but Bitcoin started because of my ideas. It was my design, and it was my creation, and making certain it cannot be subverted by criminals is and remains my duty. I was Satoshi. So here's the way I see how this could have possibly been, one scenario, how this possibly could have been. Craig Wright saw the BitGold papers and Bcash or whatever it was by Waydai, decided he would try to do that. So he started to work on it, but realized he didn't have the ability to do that. So he got a hold of Dave Kleiman, who he's known since about 2003. And I don't think Dave Kleiman necessarily had the skills to do it himself either. So Dave Kleiman probably got a hold of Hal Finney, along with Craig Wright as well. And I think Hal Finney wrote the majority of the code. And then Dave Kleiman and Craig Wright mined 1 million Bitcoin, and then Dave Kleiman died and giving the keys to his brother, and now he's writing fake Tulip Trust documents and things like that to try to get that money back, or he had that money to begin with and never gave it to Dave Kleiman. It's a very interesting story how it all works out, and if you really read about each individual and what they did, you start to actually consider that maybe Dr. Craig Wright actually had something to do with Bitcoin, because a lot of the documents had Dr. Craig Wright as, you know, with a bunch of English language in it, and he's Australian, but there's a lot of parallels between English and Australian, and I mean British English and Australian by the word of bloody and various things like that. So it's interesting, but yet at the same time, Dr. Craig Wright doesn't seem like he fits the idea of Satoshi, but he could have been playing a role as Satoshi, as I could act like somebody else and then in real life act totally differently. That's not too hard to do, to be totally honest. And also another question is, why would you create Bitcoin SV if you are the creator of Bitcoin itself? But I think because Bitcoin sort of got handed to Gavin Andresen and got handed to essentially Blockstream and those developers, that he no longer has access to those, and nobody no longer believes him. So he decided to create his own version of Bitcoin again, which I wouldn't like buy SV because of that. But so the post also addressed why Silk Road failed. Simply put, the nature of blockchain doesn't allow it to be crime friendly. Wright pointed out no blockchain will ever be crime friendly. That's the nature of the system. The audit trails allow the authorities to track one criminal to another. We saw this action in the Silk Road was taken down, and then the Silk Road 2 was taken down. So that's kind of interesting. So another thing I want to talk about is that something I already talked about on the channel a little while ago. There's a 1.1 million Bitcoin lawsuit alleging that Craig Wright is Satoshi, and it continues. So it's going to continue. The jury trial is scheduled for June 10th, so it'll be probably a little while after that. But basically what it is that Count 1 demands 11.4 billion overall from Craig Wright. So the most intriguing part of the case is that the evidence presented that Craig Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto in the defendant's amended complaint. Apparently, Wright and Kleiman met in 2003 and communicated about various technological topics for years after that. So we all have to think in our head, like, how is it that Dave Kleiman and Craig Wright were connected? That's clear. They had a lot of emails, and they all admit it. The whole families admit it. They knew that they of each other since 2003. And in the previous article that I just read, he talked about how Hal Finney worked on the code, otherwise it wouldn't have been made. So Hal Finney was the first person to receive Bitcoin from Satoshi Nakamoto. He received 10 Bitcoin, and he never actually paid that back. He was supposed to, but he never did. Life circumstances, I suppose, or maybe he forgot. So whoever is connected to Hal Finney is likely to be the creators of Bitcoin, and that's Dave Kleiman and Craig Wright. So it's really interesting. I know everybody says fake Toshi, and maybe he is just a scammer, and he has created this whole paradigm around this in order to acquire what, though? And this is the 1.1 million Bitcoin. And I suppose a lot of people would go a lot of lengths to do that. But when you it's really interesting how they're all tied together, particularly these three people in the creation of Bitcoin. So apparently Wright and Kleiman met in 2003, communicated about various technological topics after that. In 2008, they co-authored a paper on the mechanics of overwriting hard drive data. Fair enough. In 2008, Wright emailed Kleiman, said, "I need your help editing a paper, and I'm going to release later this year. I've been working on a new form of electronic money, Bitcash, Bitcoin. You were always there for me, Dave, and I want you to be part of it all." In late 2008, Wright sent another email to Kleiman saying, "I need your help. You edited my paper, and now I have to have you aid me in building this idea." On January 12, 2009, only 9 days after Bitcoin launched on January 3rd, Wright and Kleiman sent each other Bitcoin transactions, making some of them the earliest Bitcoin users. So, and I think on the 9th, Hal Finney received 10 Bitcoin from Satoshi. So that was probably just a test from, if this is true, let's assume that for now, it was either from Craig Wright or Dave Kleiman to send it to Hal Finney after he had completed the code and it was working, and a few days after it had been mining and stuff, like, I'm going to send you this transaction, let's see how it works. And it worked. The lawsuit alleges that Kleiman and Wright mined 1.1 million Bitcoins together, and these are all identifiable and stored in Wright's wallets. Wright indicated that he has this tremendous amount of Bitcoin during a speech in which he said he had more money than the country of Rwanda, where he was speaking. In May 2016, Wright claimed to be Satoshi in a series of blog posts, and the best evidence that Wright is Satoshi was a blog post from early Bitcoin developer Gavin Andresen, who Satoshi gave the reins to. He gave the network alert key and the source code to Gavin Andresen in something like 2011, where one of his last messages was, "I've moved on to bigger things. I've moved on to other things," Satoshi said in a public post. And that Bitcoin is in the right hands, meaning Gavin Andresen. He gave it to Gavin Andresen. So another interesting thing about Satoshi was that one of the last email, the last time Satoshi spoke, not publicly, was to Gavin Andresen, and the email was basically, in a nutshell, I have to paraphrase and just randomly guess here because I forget the actual wording, but he was angry at how Bitcoin was being in the spotlight of that this is a criminal activity and you shouldn't put that kind of spotlight on it. Instead, you should put the spotlight on your developers. Satoshi was a fairly, at least by his writings, was a fairly paranoid guy. He didn't like the spotlight. He didn't like the spotlight in the fact that Silk Road was going on, and then that the government was assuming that it was nothing but for illegal activity. And he said, "Well, Gavin, why don't you just put the spotlight on your developers and how much good they're doing for the community? Why don't you sort of just take that negative and try and just force it over this way to the positive?" And Gavin Andresen responded. His last response to Satoshi was that he had been invited to the Central Intelligence headquarters in order to speak about Bitcoin, in which Satoshi never responded to. I'm sure that freaked him out quite a bit. If you were a paranoid guy, that would be quite paranoia-inducing. In the post, Andresen claims that Wright signed a message with cryptographic keys that only Satoshi could possess. Ultimately, Wright never released these signed messages to the public, leaving the claim in doubt. And Wright is now commonly referred to as Fake Toshi. In this case, enters the trial period. It will certainly shed light on the true nature of Craig Wright's early involvement in Bitcoin and whether he really is Satoshi Nakamoto. So possibly Kleiman did Dave Kleiman actually created an LLC company in which to mine Bitcoins in 2010 or 11. So Wright and Kleiman did mine these coins, but it's a matter of, according to some articles that you read, Kleiman died and gave a encrypted USB to his brother, and it was likely on that encrypted USB a lot of Bitcoin to his brother when he died. And according to other documents, Craig Wright has this. So according to this case file, the family is suing Craig Wright for $11 billion. So some articles basically say that Dave Kleiman had the Bitcoin. And then other articles, like this court case, states from the Kleiman estate that, hey, Craig Wright has the Bitcoin and we want that money back. However, this Tulip Trust document says the opposite, which is really weird. Now, did Craig Wright completely make up this document? Did he completely fabricate this document? That is a possibility, but according to this document, Kleiman has the Bitcoin, which is against his case. I don't know. It's so confusing. You can see. So this is the Tulip document. I've showed this on my channel before, and I'll read it real quick for you. I, Dave Kleiman, shall become the trustee for the transfer of the Satoshi I've received from Craig Wright. So according to this document, Kleiman has it. No record of this transaction will be filed. The transfer is valued at $100,000. So I, Dave Kleiman, have received 1.1 million Bitcoin from Craig Wright. At the time of this transfer is valued at around $100,000. So like maybe, what, a penny each, 10 cents? I don't even know. 1.1 million Bitcoin. So I will form a trust to be managed by at least 3 people, but not more than 7 at any time. That's confusing. All Bitcoin will be returned to Craig Wright on January 1st, 2020. The return will be in the form of return of control of company to Dr. Wright. The company and trust will be managed and held by Sikelis. This will be designated by Tulips, and trading that was noted have not been a bubble, but no record of this arrangement will be made public at any time. Whoops. Dr. Wright has noticed that he is facing bankruptcy due to the following, and that he understands moving assets in a manner that he cannot access may breach of Australian law if he fails to provide information on these assets. This would be in the event of an insolvency. So the trust balance must hold of at least 100,000 Bitcoin at transfer to Dr. Wright in 2020, and all means to ensure this will be followed. Dr. Wright may request a loan of Bitcoin for the following reasons and no others: furthering research into peer-to-peer systems, and commercial activities that enhance the value and position of Bitcoin. So if the following conditions are applicable at all times, if Dr. Wright should die before 2020, the entire minus an amount will be transferred to Ramona Watts. If I should die, Dr. Wright will be returned shares in the Tulip Trust and company 15 months after my death at his discretion, which has been a long time now. So the amount not included to be sent to Ramona Watts will be used to show the lies and frauds perpetuated by Adam Westwood and the Australian Tax Office against Dr. Wright. That's really weird. And the last condition is listed as a direct quote of Dr. Wright, who has specified against my advice that he requires this line to be included. That line literally against Dave Kleiman's advice, or whoever's advice. So according to this Tulip Trust document, Dave Kleiman has the 1.1 million. Yet, after his death, why is his family trying to sue for 1.1 million Bitcoin? Now, you have to think, too, that mining 1.1 million Bitcoin, even which was supposedly mined from 2008 to 2011, is a possibility when in 2009, starting in 2009, when it actually became mineable. That's a possibility. However, I think buying 1.1 million in 2011, or whenever this was created, 2011, to give. But why would Dr. Craig Wright give Dave Kleiman 1.1 million Bitcoin if he is nearly insolvent and facing bankruptcy? And maybe that's just to get rid of it so that they couldn't take it from him and take that money from him. So it's really weird how all 3 of them are connected. Craig Wright says that he was connected to Hal Finney. Dave Kleiman and Craig Wright were clearly connected. And all 3 are considered creators of Bitcoin, interestingly enough, and are currently fighting over 1.1 million Bitcoin, which is the exact amount of Bitcoin that's supposedly in the Satoshi wallets. So I think Craig Wright was probably the media guy. I think if this is the case, this is just an assumption I'm throwing out there. I think Craig Wright was the sort of the media guy. Dave Kleiman and Hal Finney were working on the code And when it got, when it actually finished, they did mine 1.1 million Bitcoin, and now there's an argument over that. So there's that for you guys. Moving on to the next news article. Local Bitcoins warn over major changes for users and AML KYC crackdown. So in a statement published February 8th, Local Bitcoin said it would make major changes to its experience following new anti-money laundering laws and know your customer policies being enacted in its home jurisdiction of Finland. So bye-bye, Local Bitcoins in Finland. If it's not Local Bitcoins if you have to sign up to KYC. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not. Like, that's ridiculous. You might as well just go on to an exchange at that point. Like, that was the whole point of Local Bitcoins. The country, in line with its own obligations, is upgrading the AML KYC laws and the EU-wide legislation which came into effect last year. The exact nature of changes remains uncertain and are a work in progress, and the legal requirements are still being delineated, but it's already clear that will bring major changes into the functioning of virtual currency exchanges. So Local Bitcoins is going to take a lot of hit on this one for sure. It's going to take away Local Bitcoins for a lot of people because they don't want to sign up to KYC, and that's exactly why they were using Local Bitcoins in the first place. So I could see Local Bitcoins sooner or later here having to go KYC basically worldwide. And it will just damage them irreparably and essentially make their exchange essentially useless when you could just stay at home and just, go on to an exchange, to an actual exchange and just sign up KYC that way instead. Anyway, moving on here. Bitcoin Pioneer next to Bitcoin Price Act will see $250,000, I'm sure. We may currently experience crypto winter hodling together for warmth, but Mark Jeffrey thinks this should not be surprising. The early Bitcoin Pioneer was talking on the Next Billion Seconds podcast. I think this is very much like the dot-com boom and bust cycle that we saw in the late 90s and early 2000s. Certainly, the period in late 2017 was analogous to the early days of the dot-com boom. Eager investors, desperate not to miss out, were remortgaging their homes just to throw money at anything that asked. And certainly when investors realized they were buying into nothing more than a vague promise of something, they panicked. But Jeffrey suggests that the process has been greatly compressed with cryptocurrency. So there was a time, the dot-com bubble essentially just buying up every single website, and all these websites were promising to completely change the industry and how you buy things and how you interact and things like that. And that's kind of like cryptocurrency. I agree. It is exactly like cryptocurrency. All these new cryptocurrencies coming out saying this is going to change the way you buy things, the way you do things, the way we file information, the way we're going to change transparency and everything, and then that coin just does nothing. How many ICOs have you bought into? How many new coins have you bought into? And a few months after you bought into it, the price is just going down, and the developers aren't doing anything, and they just keep tweeting random things like vague stuff or things that just don't matter. And that's the dot-com bubble essentially. But he thinks it's going to be $250,000 in the next some odd few years. I kind of doubt that. Could it one day be $250,000 per Bitcoin? That's certainly possible. I mean, it's certainly possible for it to be $1 trillion a Bitcoin. But is it really going to happen? I'm not so sure. I think Bitcoin is becoming more and more antiquated every day. I don't mean to FUD against Bitcoin, as it is, of course, Bitcoin itself. And it's like fudding on your favorite actor or king or something like that you're just obsessed with. But it's really true. It does have the brand name. It's going to last for a long time. I'm not saying it's going to be months or a year or something like that before it dies off, but something better will replace it sooner or later. But I think people are just interested in Bitcoin right now because it is Bitcoin. It is the brand name. It was first. It has the most security, the most hash rate. The institutions are looking to trade it first among all other currencies. So it's going to go up in value, and by it going up in value, all other coins are. But sooner or later, another coin is going to come out that does everything so much better that Bitcoin will be just a thing of the past unless it continues to develop as well. So 250,000 anytime soon? Highly doubt it. That's what I'm throwing out there. Highly doubt it. Moving on. Oh, we got BitAOn, guys. Wow. Sign up to that referral link down in the description below. You guys are going to love this one. And I wonder how many people checked for referral link in the description to BitAOn. There isn't one. I was just kidding. Oh man, I trolled you guys good. So BitAOn, I just came across, it's been out for a number of months now, but I just came across this, and this is the most blatant Ponzi scheme I think I've ever seen, aside from BitConnect. Basically, it doesn't even tell you what they do. It just gives you this vague stuff like, how does it work? All deposited funds are transferred to our joint funds, pooled together with company funds. Each deposit receives a set share size according to the investment amount. The share size is used to determine ROI, value of each individual contribution. The joint funds are used in various investment ventures managed by our expert traders. Wow, okay, totally. We specialize in multiple portfolios in order to maximize the efficiency of our investments. I'm sure you do. By Forex trading, digital exchange, whatever that means, P2P exchange, whatever that means, P2P lending. I've never even seen a peer-to-peer lending service in crypto yet. They always say they do, but where's my crypto loan? I've never found one. Bitcoin mining, I'm sure you guys do. And startups, of course you do startups. Man, let me see how this works. Oh, it's a real company, formed in mid-2017. And but no, it's not. I think they ran out of their licensure a little while ago. And it says that literally on the English website, View It Company's House. Oh yeah, no, private keys, where you control your private keys. So okay, if I control crypto coin wallet, it comes with a crypto coin wallet. Okay, BitAOn, awesome guys, thanks for the wallet. Private keys, where you control your private keys. Okay, so if you control your private keys, and I put money on this platform, how do you guys trade it? How do you guys day trade it if I have control of my public keys and you can't access or send my funds because I have access to my private keys? Call them BS on that. Transparency. Source code will be open to the public. I'm sure it is, just like every other pyramid scheme is open to the public. No, don't worry, guys. It's a smart contract, so that means it's a good pyramid scheme. Backup and security. Backup and restore features. I'm sure there is. I'm sure once my Bitcoin is just totally missing one day, I bet I could just back it up and it'll just be there. It's fine. Compatibility with different operating systems. Wow, that's a feature? Holy crap. If that wasn't a feature, like, how would that not be compatible with different operating systems? Like, that's just a given today. That's not a feature. That's like going to the grocery store and like, where are your bananas? And they're like, they're over there. And you're like, thank you. And you go up to the bananas and it says, like, a big sticker on across the banana. It says, new feature, now consumable. And you're like, I expected that to begin with. That's not a new feature. That's not a new feature. Affiliate career. Oh my God, I want to start my affiliate career. Yeah. Get my affiliate career on. How does it work? After registration, you receive your own personal referral link. Oh, really? Oh, man, that's all new to me. I've never seen that before. Use your link in promotional campaigns and social networks, blogs, forums, etc. Invite new members to join our program. All right, let's check out these affiliate rewards. 0 BTC funds attracted, access to the affiliate career. You get a total commission of 5%. So, like, basically, if nobody gives you anything, you get 5%. Awesome. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Up to 0.5 BTC, you get 6% commission. Once you get that 0.5, I'm getting that 6%, and I get 1% direct commission. I don't know what that means. Silver, oh man, 7, 8, 9, 10% commission, and a 1 BTC bonus. Why do I assume that that's garbage and not real? Wow, FAQ, let's check it out. Oh man, this is BitConnect. What is BitConnect? I'm BitAOn Limited. It's an investment company that's looking to take your money. I'm sure it is. Is Bitcoin a registered legal company? Yes, we registered it. Yeah, it cost us $99 to register our company. It's registered, guys. Come on. Who could become our client? Anybody who has reached a legal age. We don't. You do not require any special knowledge about the investment market to use our services. No, because those are the exact kind of people we want to use our services. Exactly. How can I open my BitAOn account? Just sign up and hit yourself in the head with a tack hammer if you don't know how to sign up to anything. How did you even get onto this page if you don't? May I open several accounts on your program? No, you only can have one, so that we could just get all your referral links. How to invest? Make money. and send it to us. How much can I invest? You can make deposits starting from just 0.005 BTC, and there are no maximum limits. Of course there are no maximum limits. We want all your Bitcoin. Oh, man, it just keeps going on. I'm not going to tell you guys that. So, all right. So, type in BitAOn in YouTube, and man, oh, man, you get a lot. Scam warning. Okay, I'm not saying these are scammers. I'm saying scam warning. Okay, fair enough. Scam warning, scam warning, scam warning. And then all of the ones that are not showing a scam alert are all like Portuguese and Spanish. Half of these I can't read. 3% BitAOn pago me han pedido de sacui. I don't know. I got nothing. And then this guy is just, you know, investment, you know, get a lot fast, rapido. I think that's get a lot, I think, in Portuguese. I did a little trying to translate. And rapido. Yeah, get it fast, man. Yeah, awesome. So, let's take a look real quick, though. We're not going to watch these videos. We ain't going to watch your video, The Trading Bull. You're probably good. I don't know. Scam review. So can this we earn forever here? He's Chinese, but fair enough. Scam review. So note this person here. Note this person right here. Deem Valimor. Still having instant withdrawal. Best site ever. I'm very happy being an investor at BitAOn. Really? Is that how normal people talk? Yeah, okay. That's how normal people talk. That's how I talk all the time, too. I am very happy being an investor. I am very happy being a customer at your store. I need more referral links to keep me going. So that's just a robot, for sure. So let's move on to another one. Let's get this out of here. Get up out of here, Trading Bull. Boom. BitAOn review, proven scam exposed. Thank you. Prestige binary options. I don't know. I'm sorry I don't know you. But I'm sure you're doing a great job. I don't know. Proven scam exposed. Here we go. Oh man, Dean Villamor's here again. What? And so remember that this is an expose video. This is exposing the scam. Hey, question mark. You have to invest so that you know that BitAOn is really legit and very fast to withdraw. Instant withdrawal. I have already 34 times withdrawal. Okay.
Hey, you have to invest so that you know that BitAOn is really legit, very fast to withdraw, instant withdrawal. I have already 34 times withdrawal.
So another bot working for BitAOn. I called out a scam one time on my channel, and you can actually find this video if you want, if for some insane reason you don't believe me or something, I don't know. And you just search for it in my video, in my channel, and make sure you subscribe first, right? Sorry, I gotta shill once in a while. The people tell me to shill once in a while. Anyway, and I called out a scam, and it was God, I can't remember. It started with an A, and it was another pyramid scheme, and I called it out for being a scam. It was an ICO, and I got hit with a bot for like hundreds and hundreds of dislikes all in one day. They all came all at once, because you can see this on analytics on YouTube. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next video, I'll show you guys that bot video. And so I made a video and I called them out, and then a few days later I got hit by a bot, dislike bot, and I got hit by like 300 dislikes on the same day. At the same time, so it was clearly a bot that did it. Like just used a bot account to just like hit me with 300. But the problem is they don't know. That dislikes give engagements to your video, and it actually makes your video slightly more popular. I mean, likes are better technically, but yeah. So thank you. But anyway, so yeah, you can see another scam, you know, and there we go. That's out of there. Bum, get up out of there. And then we got this one is promoting it. And look, no bots attacking it. Wow, this one's promoting it. Let's see. Let's check it out. No bots attacking it. And then this one here too, promoting it. No bots. So, yeah, this guy's just hard shilling. Hey, you know what? First of all, let me just say, where's your face again? Facing forward. Okay, this face does not match that face. Okay, you look way better in that photo than you actually do in real life. That is not the same man. It may be, but you don't look... Let me just give you some advice. BR Bitcoins. Get the beard back, lose the hat, and get back to looking like that, okay? Because you look great there, not so good here. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just helping you out. I know it's uncomfortable sometimes, but just helping you out. So yeah, BitAOn, the new BitConnect. Don't sign up. Moving on to CoinMarketCap. To finish off the day, we're down to 120. Oh, we were at 120. Now we're at 121 billion market cap. So we are hanging on here a little bit. 7-day graph. So we've been trading sideways, completely sideways, ever since that pump a few days ago. So some coins did dump afterwards. Tron dumped pretty hard afterwards. Let's check on BTT, by the way, this BitTorrent token. Still going up, still kind of was a good buy, to be totally honest, at the beginning there, and then sold immediately. But winner of the day, Huobi, Dash, interestingly enough, loser, ARK, and Quant, Aura. But so we've been trading sideways ever since, and I'm expecting a dump of approximately equal value at some point after that, considering that Backed has been further delayed. There's really nothing on the horizon that is going to really hype Bitcoin, in my opinion, anytime soon. There's really nothing too big coming. No institutions, no ETFs, no Backed futures, nothing like that is really on the horizon. So I don't see why Bitcoin would go up in price from here. I hope it does. That's the kind of thing that is my favorite thing in the world to be proven wrong on. When I'm like, I don't think Bitcoin will go up in price, and it goes up $300, I'm like, I'm glad I was wrong on that one. So I don't think it will, but there's always a pump, then a dump a few days later. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was anytime soon that we're going to see a dump of $100 or $200 in Bitcoin, because it just wasn't really organic, and you can see it's not going anywhere from there. It's not going up, nor is it going down. So everybody's very unsure, and they will be sure of where it's going as soon as that whale dumps those profits for some margin trading. But that's all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to throw some interesting things out there, show you guys a little bit of Ponzi scheme, talk about Satoshi, talk about some news, all kinds of fun stuff today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to get all them notifications. Make sure you like the video as well. That helps me out a lot. My social media in the description, my Twitch, my Twitter, my Steam accounts. Follow me on those if you have the time. But that's all I have for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And as usual, I will see you next time.